Hi, I'm Robin from Roving with Rover. Today's video is about COPPA, and I know there's a lot of videos out there discussing it, but I want to tell you what my unusual situation has been. I, like everybody else, am doing a lot of research into this to see how it might affect our channel, because as we know, the directions are pretty vague, and one of the things that caught my attention about the videos was the fact that we use the dogs. And as I was researching and watching videos and listening to what other people had to say, one of the things that I noticed was it said if you use music in your videos or if you use pets in your videos, it could be considered made for children, which, as we know, is what the issue is. I was recently watching a video that was put out by an attorney, and he kept showing clips of a gentleman speaking that appeared to be from a hearing or maybe a news release, something like that. I couldn't tell. And while I was trying to find that actual video, I stumbled across something that said if you want to send a message, if you have comments or concerns and want to send an email to COPPA, that you could do so from this email link. Now, I had seen the items where you could sign a petition, and I had seen the items where you could send a complaint, I believe. But this was different. This was an actual email to the FTC. So I thought, what the heck, I'm going to send off a little email, see what happens. So this is the email that I sent. As a new content creator on YouTube, I am confused about some of the new suggested changes. I have a small channel that shows us as we travel the United States. We are retired and travel with our dogs as we live full-time in our RV. Can you please clarify if we do the following, will that cause us to be listed as made for children? If I show my dogs in some of my videos? If there is a soundtrack with music in my videos? If my logo has a picture of a dog in it, that's a concern for me as well. When I read your policy changes, I see that the words pets and music are listed, so that makes me concerned. I understand why you're doing this, but there is a great deal more clarification needed. Thank you. And I submitted that, never expecting to get any kind of a comment whatsoever. Well, surprisingly, I did get a comment. And the first comment that I received was simply a automated reply comment, the kind of thing that you get when you send in anything to a large company. So what surprised me was a couple days later, I got an actual comment to my actual email. Now again, it was another canned comment, but it at least covered more of the issues, the aspects of the issues that we as creators are struggling with, some of the verbiage, some of the language that we're struggling with to try to understand what they want from us. I think most of us are willing to do whatever they want us to do. We just don't know what they want us to do. So, like I said, a couple days later, I got another response, and it is titled, YouTube Channel Owners, is your content directed to children? Question mark. It states, under COPPA, how do I know if my channel is directed to children? Since the FTC and New York Attorney General announced their September 2019 settlement with YouTube, blah, 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 we've heard that question from channel owners, sometimes called creators. If you're a channel owner who shares content on a platform like YouTube, read the staff guidelines. Well, we've all read these guidelines, and we still don't know what they want from us. It reiterates the same stuff we've heard over and over. Talks about the big settlement they made with the one company. Then there's a recap of the rules, blah, 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 same thing. Who does it apply to? Anybody that posts anything on YouTube or any of the other channels out there, not just YouTube. Because as we know, this is a federal thing. This is not a YouTube thing. This is new though. How channel owners can determine if their content is directed to children. The million-dollar question, right? Under COPPA, there is no one-size-fits-all answer about what makes a site directed to children, but we can offer some guidance. To be clear, your content isn't considered directed to children just because some children may see it. That's something we've all been worried about. However, if your intended audience is children under 13, you're covered by COPPA and have to honor the rules requirements. They list the basic requirements again. The subject matter, visual content, use of animated characters or child-oriented activities and incentives, the kind of music or other audio content, the age of models, the presence of child celebrities or celebrities who appeal to children, language, advertising, competent and reliable empirical evidence about the age of the audience. Still very kind of confusing for me anyway. But it then states the determination of whether content is child-directed will be clear in some contexts more than others, and that we know. But we can share with you some rules of thumb. First, unless you're affirmatively targeting children, there are many subject matter categories where you don't have to worry about COPPA. For example, if your videos are traditionally adult activities like employment, finances, politics, home ownership, home improvement, or travel, you're probably not covered unless your content is geared towards kids. The same would be true for videos aimed at high school or college students. On the other hand, if your content includes traditional children's pastimes or activities, it may be child-directed. For example, the FTC recently determined that an online dress-up game was child-directed. Second, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters doesn't mean you're automatically covered by COPPA. While many animated shows are directed to kids, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone. Then there's a whole bunch more stuff, blah, 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 blah. I feel a lot better having received this particular email. It's not exactly word for word clear on every single thing, but I feel like it gives a much better understanding of what they are looking for. I think those of us who are making general videos, yes, my dogs are in the videos, but that doesn't mean I'm specifically aiming at that certain age group. I have a dog in my thumbnail, or not my thumbnail, in my logo, but again, not necessarily aiming for children. I think if I had Mickey Mouse in my logo, there might be an argument made, but who knows? That's just my guess. But this email came, when did this email come? Friday afternoon, from Business Alerts from the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Subject: YouTube channel owners, is your content directed to children? I feel like for my personal channel, I feel like I am safe to continue making the types of videos that we make. And if my dogs are in the videos, if I have music in my videos, if I occasionally show some kiddos playing in an RV park where we are, that I'm not going to have to worry about this being considered a made for children video or a made for children channel. And I think this is going to make a lot of other people feel more confident about that as well. So that's all for tonight. I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up of what I found out in my research in the email that I received from the FTC. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope maybe this makes somebody feel a little more at ease. Bye for now.